Kim, thank you very much for coming in to speak to us about the Sooke Food Bank. And I have a sort of a three-part question for you about the origins of the food bank, the compassionate actions that started it up, and perhaps you could describe that.
Okay, so from what I understand, because I wasn't in Sooke when it started, I believe in the 80s, and how it used to work is you would call in and then someone would take your order and then they'd deliver it. And I believe it was like maybe 15 to 30 families. Now, fast forward, people come to the hall. We have a big Christmas program. We do backpacks, back to school. We help people with work clothes, birthday parties. We've helped with funerals. We've, you kind of, we take care of our community, our food bank community.
Right. You were telling me that the number of hampers that's given out has increased in recent years.
Yes.
And can you give us a sense of the scale of your operation, of your service?
So in 2011, it would be a busy week if we hit 80 families. That's when I first came. Now, a busy week is about 200 families, and 80 would be like sort of a slow week. Yeah. We're a bedroom community to a lot of jobs in Langford, so therefore we have a lot of people that live out here that don't necessarily work out here, or a lot of people that couldn't afford to stay in the city, so they moved out here, and that's kind of where we're at.
Have you been affected by events? You mentioned to me on another occasion something, the fire at Fort McMurray.
Yes.
Increased the demand even here in Sooke, and of course COVID.
Yes. Well, COVID really put into place like how important it is to have an emergency plan for not just Sooke, but for every community. So we sort of had one in place for an earthquake. Well, what we thought we were prepared for. We were not prepared. So what happened when the pandemic first happened, a lot of places closed right away. So that would be like food kitchens and other places where people are getting their food from. So we did not close. So we didn't take a day off from March until July of last year, because poverty, people that don't know food banking don't know that you can only be poor the first 3 weeks of the month, because that's when we're there. You're in crisis. So we tried to be available every day, and we really found that there was a lot of people that I was working and I have a good job waitressing or whatever, and all of a sudden those people don't have, they're barely making it. Sorting out who was going to get what kind of funding for people was really confusing at the beginning. And then, of course, our regular clients with mental health were really concerned about if we were going to close down and not open up again. So what we found is we need to have more food on hand. If there was a situation where everything got closed down and we were that source, we have to have food here. So we have storage units all over the place. We don't necessarily have it in our building. So it's been a whole learning challenges, all these things. Yeah.
Now, the source of your food, does any of the grocers in Sooke provide food? Or?
Oh, we are so blessed. So not only the grocers, we have great relationships with all the stores in Sooke. We're blessed out here. We've been able to prove that with a little bit of help, a lot of times these people only use the food bank once or twice. And so they're supportive when we have these ideas like, let's do backpacks, let's do whatever, support seniors. So we support Meals on Wheels, we support Vital Vittles, Grace Gardens, which I can't even put into words what that has done for the quality of food. The Baptist Church with the Grace Gardens. And in the beginning, I know people laughed and nobody thought that that was going to be what it is. And now when you go to that place and the thousands of pounds of food we get from that garden,
thousands, wow.
It's amazing. And the quality, the Sooke Food Bank, we're not going to give you. Some places you'll have to go and glean the food yourself. So you might say you food rescue grapes from a grocery store. then those grapes that are in that bag just go right into your food bag. Well, they could be yucky or you don't know. Where in our food bank, we clean all that out before it goes out to the public. And so when we started bringing in fresh stuff, like that you don't have to do that for, it's a sense of pride for the volunteers handing out that food. And for the client, it's people invested in me, right? Like we care enough to make sure you've got really good quality food, and I think it helps people care about themselves.
Do you have any sort of plans for the future and changing your operation in any way?
So what we would like to do eventually is get our own building, and we'd like to be able to offer work experience for people as far as warehouse work, for instance. We'd be able to do a lot on how to manage a warehouse. Perhaps we could have handicapped people come in and do work experience. Right now, we're not in a safe enough building to, and it's not a big enough workspace to really be offering those kind of services. So we'd love to do that. We'd love to offer more support programs like cooking and how to prepare food and store food. Those are dream programs that we'd love to offer our clients. More gardening classes. So we do offer a little bit of gardening in the spring, but we'd like to be able to really support that and offer more throughout the year.
Wow, that's an incredible vision. Well, you've covered a great deal, and thank you very much for coming today.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and I'm excited for Sooke.